All right, I got the image of the deck list pulled up. Yeah, some large differences here. Only two enhanced hammers. Uh, has the Tapu Fini to shuffle stuff back. The Espeon EX is going to be pretty bad in this matchup. In a
But
pinch, you can
the
de-evolve a Lycanroc, but that doesn't sound like a way that you're winning the game.
but that
Um,
Feeny is huge in this matchup.
yeah, without looking, do you know what the GX attack is on Tapu Fini?
Tapu Storm.
That's correct.
I used to call
Good
it
job.
flush that ass down the toilet. But that is a very good tech in this Greninja deck. So usually you don't see Greninja decks wanting to play two prize Pokemon, but being able to completely shuffle an entire Pokemon and every card attached into on it into your opponent's deck, you can just completely nullify any attacker for your opponent. Maybe just buy that extra turn of time that you need. So a very valuable tech option included with that GX attack, that Tapu Storm GX attack. And yes, this is a great point too. So Lee is playing the 60 HP Froakies, and we do have the Buzzwole GX in Cash's deck. So potentially could um, use Jet Punch, taking out a couple Sobbles since they do only have the 60 HP. But once again, we are in a position where Cash could theoretically donk this Froakie. Um, we're gonna have to pray for some outs off his end, but it's not looking super likely. But the same math. Actually, I think this time you could just use Regirock, so you have one additional out, but you still need that Zygarde. Actually, there are a couple different options here because you could get Diancie and a Strong Energy and take the KO with Buzzwole. So not out of it quite yet.
Yeah,
And three
and
Sycamores.
important to know that this Rockruff cannot evolve. No, like if he draws a Lycanroc, it'll show up that he could evolve it because this is uh, still playing as if it's his first turn. Even oh wait no, they didn't. He did. Yeah, he did do the back and forth. So not going to be able to evolve for any reason. Don't necessarily know particularly why, but just something to think about with these trying to go back and recreate PCGO tournaments for these formats. The rule set changes. This hand is, yeah, you're right. It's rough. Does not look like a donk is going to be happening here. There's no beast energy in the list, so it has to be Floatstone, Strong Energy, Diancie. Forked Earth gives a look, but you need to draw 3 cards off of 2 cards. Not really how the Pokemon trading card game works.
Nope. We do see the Bubbleheads though. Love to see that, and actually pretty relevant here because
Oh, I was saying a bunch of stuff that's so far behind you.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's okay. It's still valuable commentary, and we appreciate it. Um, but yeah, a Bubbleheads, and
I'm
it
doing my best.
is it is not looking like Cash is going to be able to take a KO. It's just going to have to be. Oh, I wanted to surprise attack. Yes, definitely the optimal attack choice here. And yeah, they went into the DCE attachment onto that Rockruff, hoping to get a Lycanroc. Even even with paralysis, they could have evolved out of that status condition with a Lycanroc, but unable to get that. So this is great for Lee. They are able to get. They only get 2 more Frogadiers down, but they've given up 0 prizes and they've already used water duplicates. That is a um, huge tempo swing, really. That not being able to. Oh, this is interesting. Retreating the fighting energy. I mean, I guess you would definitely want to keep the DCE around, but now you're susceptible to losing all of your attachments to that Rockruff with an enhanced hammer, so that's kind of interesting. Um, Vinny is still searching for Jet Punch Buzzwole.
Okay, I think I'm further ahead now because or not further ahead, but I think I'm looking at the stream and I'm definitely further ahead of what's showing up on your end. I just saw Field Blower played, so has that just happened for you? I just want to see where I am so I don't just say stupid stuff.
Cash just drew for turn on my end.
Oh, so I think I ended up ahead of you.
I think you're a turn behind because there's a field blower has already been played like last turn.
Oh, okay, great. I'm still a turn behind. I keep refreshing and somehow, what is it? What does a dude need to take just to end current?
Well, while you were scrambling to catch up, oh my god, another energy drawn for Cash. So at the very least, again, we are putting out that pressure. We have some extra energy stacked up on this Zygarde, so are able to put down some pressure, but we're staring at a hand of 4 energy. I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of 4 energy in hand and nothing else.
No, depending on the deck that you're playing, you're definitely not interested in that. If I was playing Blastoise, I would have be a little bit less upset, but in general, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, again, we still have at least the attacker on board, but maybe not for long. There is that Tapu Fini found, and we could very well be seeing this Zygarde and all energy attached getting flushed back into that deck. That could
Get
be
flushed back into that toilet, as you
get
said earlier.
flushed back into the toilet. Down the drain goes this Zygarde. That could be, and an enhanced hammer to go with it too. Wow. So Cash could start this turn with one, two, three, four, five,
Six
six
energy
energy
in
in play,
play
and end it
and
with
end up with
one.
one. Wow.
Wow.
And
Oh
the
my
notably
god.
important thing about Tapu Storm shuffling Zygarde into the deck is that those fighting energies are not going to end up back in the discard pile to be brought back with a cell connector. So there's a very real chance that Cash gets stuck unable to attack with all these energies in hand and know how to discard them. I mean, that could be changed by top decking an Ultra Ball, but that is still a tough beat to
Yeah, that's a great
just
point.
hope that your top deck lets you get energy back.
I don't know, because I know they retreated the Rockruff earlier. I don't know if they've already cell connected the energy onto the Zygarde, so there might be like 1 energy in the discard pile, but definitely not enough to have a second attack built up on the following turn. So we do see the Tapu Storm. Zygarde does get flushed down the drain. Cynthia off the top for Cash is huge, though, and we did just confirm that there are no fighting energy in the discard pile, so cell connector is not going to be super impactful this turn. They don't draw any way off of the Cynthia to discard additional energy, so we are just looking at a cell connector for 70 damage and no secondary effect. Not what you want to be seeing if you're Cash. Although it is kind of a funny interaction too, because with the energy going back into Cash's deck, that kind of makes the max elixir odds that much higher. So we did see a max elixir connect, which is pretty funny that having more energy in deck did actually benefit for that one interaction.
Yeah, but then I think you would rather it still go into the deck because you
Oh
have to make
yeah,
them find the max elixir and burn the max elixir. So
for
it's looking
sure.
like this
Yeah.
Tapu Storm is coming up. I Now that I'm going back and thinking about it, I also played a list in this format with a Lele, a Tapu Fini, and a Tapu Lele. I think it might have been like a year prior. But I was like, I know that I've Tapu Storm people playing Greninja before.
Yeah, no, it feels great. It was played when Gardevoir GX was more popular in the format because the
Yes.
way that you lost to that is if they built up a big, like one big Gardevoir and they just hit you for, 200 damage every turn with like 6 energy on it. So you'd go Tapu Storm it away into Shadow Stitching the next turn and you would just win the game that way. So it was a popular inclusion in formats prior to this. So I'm not surprised to see it. It is not like an unusual tech card by any means, but it is definitely pulling its weight in this game. And its other attacks are pretty solid. I think its first attack is I think it's Aqua Ring or something like that, and it's 20, and you can pivot to the bench for one
Yeah,
water,
the
and then I
first
think
attack's a hit and run, and the second attack is 120 snipe.
the
Discard two
120
waters.
snipe, though, I've definitely won games before with that. It's rare that you ever get a chance to attach 3 energy or 3 times to a Feeny, but you could theoretically finish off something with that. I forget the name of the, like, Hydro Snipe or something like that, maybe.
Hydro
Um,
shot, I think it's
Hydro
pretty
Shot, yeah,
generic.
something like that. But
It's
yeah,
Yeah, it's Hydro shot. That card's in the
Hydro
cube.
something,
If it's in the
yeah.
cube, I know it.
But still, Cash still out here struggling. We do have more energy in play now, but not enough to be getting those big attacks with these Zygardes. And Cash's hand is bad again. Attacking with Diancie Prism. Um, I think the
I
problem with
cannot
it,
imagine
yeah,
that's ever the line.
I feel like that is it's the problem is Diancie needs 3 energy to attack, and the only way you can ever accelerate to it is like attaching and max elixering to it. So I don't know that it's ever, as Vinny calls it, the huge brain play. It is certainly a play in this game.
It's one of the plays of all time.
Yes. So definitely something that could be done. I don't think we'll be seeing it, but yes, you could definitely attack there. Um, I love the interaction of Town Map with Giant Water Shuriken because you can take prizes on your turn and then use those cards immediately on that turn, which is a very, very. There's at least a brain there. The size is still in question. Yes. A brain of disputable size. Yes. So,
It,
yeah, huge turn for Greninja here, though. Going down to 3 prizes. And Cash still just kind of sitting here with Rangaroo going down, so no additional draw options. And again, we're just looking at a really poor hand for Cash.
Looking through this card pile, there are 2 fighting energies to get back with Cell Connector. However, the Greninja deck is definitely getting their foothold in this game, having 2 Greninjas on the board. The way that Cash gets back in this game, I think, is to try to go for 2 big knockouts on the Lele and the Feeny, which you can do with absorption into Knuckle Impact if Buzzwole doesn't die. Then you got to figure out how you're getting 2 energy on Buzzwole when your hand is this bad. There's a Giant Water Shuriken putting 60 onto the Zygarde. Retreat. Another Giant Water Shuriken being used puts another 60 onto the Zygarde. So with an attachment, Moonlight Slash could knock it. There's going to 1 prize left. And then there are multiple different single prize Pokemon on the bench that could be knocked out. And Hands Hammer puts Buzzwole 1 further turn behind from being able to attack. And there is the Moonlight Slash. No energy on board anywhere for Cash.
No energy. That is terrible. And we're still seeing the effects of that Feeny play. This is just the fallout from the Feeny at this point. And there are 3 Greninja breaks in play. I don't think there's a single card in the world that has ever been printed that could bring this one back from that board state. I'm sure there's some obscure unlimited card someone's going to flame me for in chat, but we do see Cash conceding game 1 there, so we will go into game 2. Greninja taking down Zygarde in game 1.
That was game 1, but it probably just felt like longer because we've seen Zygarde into Greninja 2 matchups back to back. So it's not like it's been just like Zygarde and Greninja for eternity.
Oh my god. And look at this opening hand for Cash. If we had a basic Pokemon in the active...
This is PTCGO hand for sure. I also refer to these as poker hands.
Yeah. If we had something... We do get 3 mulligans, though, so maybe there is a chance... This could be great. This could be great if we draw another basic Pokemon that we want to attack with. And we don't. So, oh my god, and a Sycamore top deck. Oh, at least we get the pass and another Sycamore. Oh
Okay,
my
this
god.
is truly a poker hand. Double Floatstone, double Max Elixir, double Sycamore, triple Fighting. This is this is a
Wow.
PTCGO
So
hand for
Xander, are
sure.
you Sycamoring this hand?
Uh, no, I'm not because I have energies and I give myself. Okay, there's a Brooklet Hill, so Brooklet Hill gets you everything you could want
Yeah, so
here.
that was actually a
Uh,
point I was going to make is that the Brooklet Hill, your opponent kind of has to play Brooklet Hill most of the time, but we see the Field Blower to get rid of it.
yo,
Wow.
okay,
Wow. Oh my god.
wow,
What a play.
okay.
That is massive. Yeah, Cash really wanted that.
No.
Wow,
um,
that was a huge play. I mean, I think
I think
honestly,
you can still go one turn, and I think you can go another turn without Sycamoring because you have energies in hand. And so you can you have energy and then next turn you can attach a strong. I don't know if I would attach the strong now because of enhanced hammer.
I
I guess
kind
you
of
want to
like
do
the
it so that if they,
floatstone though. I like a floatstone attached if you're gonna Sycamore here.
oh
Yeah.
come on, don't sycamore, don't sycamore.
So okay,
My eyes.
no. So I think this is and Vinny just brought this up in the chat. If you get Regirock or Diancie here, you do get a KO. And you put 30 on the
Yeah,
bench, so you get a follow-up KO with Jet Punch the next turn on the Frogadier as well. So this actually seems fine. It really hurts to lose all of those resources, but you are putting energy in the discard to fuel a Zygarde later, and you can just get some tempo here by taking a KO. Feels horrible to have to use the Regirock because it does have that 3 retreat cost, and you're already down 2 Floatstones. But I think this is a very... I think you kind of have to do this down game.
I guess I didn't look.
Oh, and I'm being forced to watch an ad because my stream froze. So,
You have to
oh my
watch an
god,
ad for. Oh, you're watching an ad for him. Okay, well
I'm watching an
I'll cover
ad
the
for.
commentary. I guess. Oh wait, that also means that your stream is watching an ad. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's so funny.
So,
Okay, okay. Color commentary. We're gonna go into full play-by-play mode. We see Greninja Ultra Balls discarding a card and Ultra Ball. It's a Frogadier active with 30 on it. 2 cards left to hand. Go ahead and gets that Tapu Lele GX. Lele going to get benched. Wonder Tag comes out. Gonna search for a supporter. It's a Lily. So that Lily is going to draw 4 cards, 5 cards now after this Enhanced Hammer has been played.
the
Notably,
E
only 2
hand.
strong energy for Cash in their list, so they're going to need to draw a Diancie or oh no, they still have the Reggie. Sorry,
I think
there's
that
the
Diancie. Well, I think both strong energy are down, and I believe the Diancie might have been prized too because they did get the Regirock, and I feel like Diancie might be a better choice. Um, like you don't really want to put that Regirock down if you can avoid it, but yeah, we did see a Papa John's ad. Yes.
there's no
um,
high five emote. That sucks. The high five Sycamore. Never forget.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think Cash is getting. And did we whiff the water duplicates here?
It appears to be. Wow. So this is actually huge. This could just be the game, like
Yeah,
right
because
here.
we get a KO on the active already with Jet Punch. This might just be the game, like you said. Um,
And like the game is gonna go on for like 5 more minutes, but this is effectively the game
yeah,
for people who are wondering what's going on. Having to go through and bench a Froakie again, like a whole other turn that you have to be waiting, and then if that gets Guzma, then you're waiting a whole other turn, and if you had to bench 2 just to hope for the best, then this is just such a bad spot.
and yes, we do need the "Don't be mad you lost, be happy I won" quote from TCG Live, as Stellar has pointed out in the chat. TCG Live has definitely blessed us with some glorious memes. So I think that's
That's a
about
quote. Don't be mad you lost. Be happy I won.
that is directly out of TCG Live. Yes.
I'm gonna tell every single one of my regional opponents that. Every single one.
Oh
As
my
as
god.
the great wisdom from PTCG Live says, don't be mad you lost. Be happy I won. Sign this match slip, please and thank you. If only
Oh
I had known
god.
that at Peoria. Dang, I could have told 7 people day and don't be mad you lost. Be happy I won. Come on. I went 7-1-1 for nothing there.
That was a casual flex, but yeah. Hey, I went undefeated day one of Peoria, so
The
I can flex
the
too.
joke works better if I casually flex.
But sure, I'll give you that one.
What if it's
Um,
don't be mad you tied. Be happy I tied.
there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
this game looks like it's over at this point. Cash is down to two prizes, and we might see a water duplicates, but that's probably about all we have going for us. Which means that Cash will be going down to one prize at the end of this turn. Not over. There is always N, I guess. There is Enhanced Hammer still, um, but kind of just feels like, and I think if there's a, do we not just already have? No, I guess we need the, because a strong energy. Oh, can you only use the GX attack if you're behind on prizes? Or does it get like a secondary effect or something? I thought there was something that if you were behind on prizes. Yeah, I was confused too. I was pretty sure that Cash just had it. I wasn't really sure what the rescue stretcher play was for, but um yeah, we did get the KO going into game 3.
And Greninja is going first here, which is big because it gives them another turn not to draw dead. Like the deck with the better opening is certainly a Zygarde, so you would rather have as many turns as possible to get set up before they start taking prizes. Hey, that's me. It is the Zander.
Hello, Max. Welcome in. I just have to say, Cash really got rewarded for playing that aggressive Sycamore. Ooh, and we see the Feeny
Yeah.
start.
Oh,
It's looking like the same
Feeny
hand for
start.
Cash, though. Buzzwole start, double Sycamore, double Floatstone, double Energy, and a DCE.
Wow,
Like,
yeah.
it's like the same opening hand again.
Okay, but to be fair, you're definitely happier having a DCE, discarding 2 fightings, and then only one Max Elixir and a Floatstone. I am not going to Toronto. If I'm going to anything, I'm maybe going to Arlington. I'd say maybe like 20% at this point, and then maybe like 50% Orlando,
Ooh.
100% Knoxville.
So we do have another
Sorry.
Energy top deck. No, you're fine. Yes, no, I encourage you to interact for sure. No, they cannot Tapu Storm back. So it does actually say on the card that you cannot use it if your opponent has no other Pokemon in play. So you cannot just donk
Boo! How dare
someone.
they make a
I
fair
know.
card? How dare they?
Um, so I was gonna say that that hand could have opened up a lot for Cash if a Brooklet Hill was found at any point, or if Lee played a Brooklet Hill to get like a Froakie or something down. Not gonna be the case. We do just see a Jet Punch this turn, which feels kind of lackluster. We could see a funny play. We could see the Aqua return for 50 damage if we whiff the with the water duplicates here for any reason, but um, Ultra Ball coming down, so I feel like that's unlikely that we would whiff that, but at least getting the Jet Punch damage down, so you do see the Regirock already in hand for Cash. So the KO is already lined up on this Frogadier when it comes into the active. It will get KO'd with Jet Punch plus the 10 damage from Regirock, so really, really good to get um, that bench damage down. And we do see the water duplicates. So yes, Cash skillfully not playing cards.
Only 2 searched, which is big game for Cash, and he's going to get a out here, which is going to leave only 2 Frogadiers that can evolve into Greninjas on the next turn. There's also not a splash energy on the Frogadier, so these Froakies are really going to be having to put some heavy weight on their shoulders to get this game going. Luckily, there are no energies in hand if you're rooting for the Greninja for Kash, so he's not going to be even able to set up a Knuckle Impact or a Cell Connector. There's a DCE onto the Rockruff, but with two Enhanced Hammers that might not be there at the start of the next turn. And
Well,
looking between Cynthia and Guzma, I'd imagine it's Cynthia.
so something you just said was an interesting point because Cash did have a fighting energy to start the turn, but used it for Scorched Earth, and so Buzzwole's attacks all cost just basic fighting energy, or I should say, just
Yeah,
just fighting energy. So the DCE was never going to be a live attachment onto that Buzzwole. Um, but yeah, an interesting choice too. I don't think he had the supporter previous to the Scorched Earth, so playing that obviously to continue playing the game and drawing cards makes sense, but a little bit unfortunate. And like you said, this DCE attachment on the Rockruff plays right into a possible Enhanced Hammer.
yeah. This is actually still fine as long as Cash doesn't get Enhanced Hammered. Lycanroc Fighting Energy will knock out a Greninja with Claw Slash, and so it's just a matter of if we those cards again after the end. There is a second Greninja on the bench. We have yet to see an energy though. That could be really scary if an energy is not found. Okay, there it is. So
And it's a
most
splash
likely
energy,
going
which is
to,
the best one.
yeah. But if there's already the knockout in hand, if there is no Ultra Ball between the strong energy doing the extra 20 damage, Claw Slash knocks out this Greninja very easy. The Float Stone's already on the active Pokemon to be able to retreat. I think you just go hard in with Lycanroc here and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I agree with that play. I think you're trying to race as much as you can. And the other thing to note is that if we get this, I mean, you if you go into this Lycanroc, the only thing is you're potentially walking into a Tapu Storm. Um, so I guess that's a consideration, but you still have to take this Greninja out of play. You have to take aggressive prizes, and if you do it this way, um, you and I think that's actually what Cash might be playing around is saying I want to have more threats in play. It does actually point right at the Tapu Fini. So might be thinking like I don't want to risk this. Maybe bringing up the Tapu Fini and hitting it with Buzzwole. Um, I like this play.
Interesting.
So I like this play because Lee, Lee didn't really have a ton going on. They're already down a few energy attachments. Greninja does not play any way to retreat, so you have to actually attach an energy and hard retreat this Fini. So potentially maybe Lee could buy a turn, or excuse me, Cash could buy a turn. And it also denies access to a free giant water shuriken by putting something else in the active. Of course, we do see two Greninja breaks found right away, so I think even if we miss an attack this turn, having two breaks like down on the board is already a pretty good. Wow, two Enhanced Hammer prize though. And we did find the energy to retreat. Unfortunate that it was another splash energy discarded, but I think the splash energy is going to be doing enough work on this one Greninja break that I think it should be okay.
Cynthia comes down for Cash, drawing a fresh new hand of 6 cards. There's the Lycanroc to knock out something that they desire, and most likely just get around this Greninja break. But it looks like they're just going straight for a Jet Punch, cutting their losses on this Buzzwole. It's going to die no matter what.
Well,
Not able to capitalize
I think
on
Lee
the
used Shadow
two.
Stitching too, so I don't think you could
Oh,
have
yeah.
used the yeah.
But still being unable to capitalize on board state of the two Froakies without many energy on board. Both of those Greninjas that we were saying were the only two Greninjas that were left after the water duplicates were safe, going all the way to their Greninja break form. So now there's two different Greninja breaks that need fought through. Yes, they both have damage on them, but Zygarde hasn't attacked this game, so there's no Lands Wrap. It hasn't powered itself up. So it's got to be hoping for this back flixer to hit and then to draw a supporter or a DCE just to have a chance. Or maybe you're like retreating I know Buzz was gonna die. Ignore what I was about to say.
Well,
This
and
is
this is
just
a great
rough.
point too, because Lee can use Giant Water Shuriken, take the KO on the active, and take both enhanced hammers from the prizes, take all the energy out of play for Kash. This turn is going to be huge. I'm assuming both enhanced hammers will be taken. Um, at least one, I would have to imagine. And yeah,
Yeah,
both
check
enhanced
the
hammers
prizes.
taken. Wow. I mean, once again, these turns where Kash is just getting stranded with no energy after um, after a very, very significant turn. And we're getting a Shadow Stitching for 70 damage because of that Choice Band on the active. So, I mean, that was a massive, massive swing turn. And we still have a giant water shuriken to work with here. Um, I mean, honestly, that might just be game over right there. Like, I don't see how Kash can recover in time from this. Um,
Yeah, it's definitely it's kind of a functional game over point where we saw last game that uh, Cash was able to just keep knocking out the threats, but now it's just on the back foot with this knockout on the Starmie is actually really important because
it
it
is,
means that
yeah.
he won't just be able to guarantee do a 20 extra damage every single turn,
Well, but here's the
but
problem though: is this walks right into a Tapu Storm. I mean, I don't know if you ever want to do that because you can just Shadow Stitching your opponent out of the game. I think that's probably better. But I mean, once again,
or
Cash
you
could be left with zero
yeah, you
energy
just
in
only need to
play.
do 100. You also just only need to do 120 more damage. So if you have a water energy in your hand, you can do that in Moonlight Slash. Or if you have a choice band, you can do that in Shadow Stitching. There's so many different ways to knock out this Zygarde because it already has 80 damage on it.
Yeah, well, and I think that's why the KO
Oh
on the
no, sorry, I thought
Staryu.
that was is that 80 or 60? I can't
I think
read.
it's 60 from a giant water shuriken, but that's where the
Okay,
KO
yeah,
on
that
the
makes sense.
Staryu is huge because um, Lee might be running low on energy. This deck relies really heavily on having access to Starmie.
Yeah,
But as I say that, looks like the energy, at least one energy was found, so there will be a KO here. But if there's not a second energy to get another giant water shuriken, do you take the KO with Moonlight Slash here? And I guess the answer is yes, but would you ever consider just using Shadow Stitching? You'd be 10 short of the KO, but you would still have the KO lined up with a giant water trick on the following turn, and you keep your opponent out of abilities. I mean, I guess taking the KO and taking
I
all the
think
energy out of play
you
is
take the
still
knockout
fine.
there.
Yeah.
I would assume you take the knockout there 100% on because your opponent is still energyless. Like you get rid of all the energy they have on board. So now you know this Greninja is going to live another turn because in
And
order for them to get any attack off at all, they have to attach a DCE and use Cell Connector, which isn't going to knock you out. So that Grid is going to be staying alive.
yeah.
So
And there's
if you
7 energy in the discard pile. 7 fighting energy plus some DCEs and strong energies. So a lot of energy in the bin for Cash.
yeah, all you're doing is putting yourself at risk by keeping it alive. You either just knock it out and put yourself at 2 prizes left. And this could very well be a like almost game as soon as it started. Uh, Knocking out that Regirock for 2 prizes over a couple turns could be. This is a stall on the Froakie with uh, yeah, stalling on the Froakie, making it unable to retreat. This is true. Yeah, chat does present a good line. You can jet punch twice, knocking out the Froakie, but I don't believe it's going to knock out the Tapu Fini. The Tapu Fini, from what I see, has not enough that 2 jet punches will knock it out.
Well, you could. Well, you do have the Guzma, but yeah, without having
Yeah,
the option to get a Jet Punch this turn, I don't think that is a line that works anymore. But you could have theoretically. So I think it would have been 30 onto the Feeny, and then I think if you had like you have Diancie, Choice Band, like you have enough damage buffs that maybe you could have gotten there. You did also have the KO with Jet Punch on the active. With just a fighting because we did already have the plus 30 from Diancie and Regirock. So we could have just KO'd the Froakie outright with just a single attachment to that that Buzzwole. But I think with the choice band committed to the Zygarde. It feels like it was never like I don't know if there's even floatstones left in the deck. Obviously the DCE would have been an option to attack with the Zygarde, but is is Lee out of energy?
How many
5
super rods
water. Yeah, I mean you need to get that Starmie established again. We need to go find the Super Rod. And that could be the swing that we need if you're Cash. Well, there's the water and a Sycamore, so I guess maybe the chance was never really there, but and a Super Rod is found. So I mean, Lee is drawing everything that they need at this point. I think kind of just shoring up all of their potential lose conditions, getting back Staryu double water with that Super Rod. So correctly identifying that their energy will be very much needed to close out this game. And I think the writing might be on the wall here. Hate this game. I mean, Cash just has nothing. I guess you can try to Guzma stall again. I think that's really your only line here.
I mean, it's a B, but if his opponent finds a Greninja that's got free retreat, so it's not even trying to get the energy.
You could bring up the Feeny, I guess. It does have a 1 retreat cost, so I mean that's the only play you've got. With these 2 cards in hand, you just saw your opponent put 2 energy back plus the Staryu, so the Starmie is probably in hand already. But I mean, this is your line. You gotta
lurking.
You gotta hope.
Gotta play to your out.
Yep, you definitely have to play to the out. But I think if we see the Starmie come down, I think, and that is exactly what we see. Yep.
It's not game on board this turn, but it might as well be. At this point, do you try to retreat, or do you just use Aqua Ring?
Honestly,
okay, they decided to retreat.
Yeah, well, I think you still want to get the Shadow Stitching, and you have a Giant Water Shuriken to use. So I think this is fine because you can turn off the Oranguru still, and I mean, maybe this is using Aqua Ring is probably a more conservative approach, but it gives your opponent a little bit of an out still, and that will actually be game.
You have 2 Vs that were in the ability to get knocked out by a Starmie, so yeah, that's game.
So that will be game. Going to Lee with the Greninja deck will take down Riley's Retro number 3.